This is Starr Radio UK.
So a very good evening to you out there, and welcome to the Property Hour Show live on Starr Radio UK. This and every Thursday from the hours of 7 p.m. To 8 p.m. And tonight is another great opportunity for us to learn more on the Property Hour Show. I'm so excited and privileged to be hosting. He's one of the upcoming legends, and he's doing so great. So, hey, we super excited, and let me say that thank you to our great sponsors. We are so privileged for you to be keeping us going. You've kept us going for all these years, and we are grateful to Kerry's Furniture all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. If you're looking for furniture, interior decor, it's Kerry's Furniture. Look no further. And also, we are sponsored by M&M Concept. They are amazing graphic designers. They are based in Ghana, but guess what? They can deliver to your doorstep. And these guys, anything to do with printing works and banners, t-shirt, merchandise, is M&M Concept. If you see our amazing flyers, these guys have been doing that great job, and they can deliver. They've got some serious turnaround times that will amaze you. So hey, look no further if you're looking for print works, it's or graphic designs. It's M&M Concept, and you can connect with us towards the end of the program. I'll also go through how you can connect with them. And also, we are sponsored by a Mayor Associate. Mayor Associate is a company based in Ghana, project management company based in Ghana. If you're looking to build whether private or commercial property management, it is a Mayor Associate. These guys have been in the trade well over a decade, and they know what you're doing. So connect with us. We will connect you to Mayor Associate. If you're building in Ghana, you've burned your fingers with friends and family, they will do the professional job for you. Last but not the least, we are sponsored by CIG Properties. That's Cornerstone International Group Limited. This is a project management company and investment company based in the UK. If you're looking to buy or sell or rent or let your property, is CIG Property. www.cigpropertyuk.com. That's www.cigpropertyuk.com. And these guys, if you're looking to invest in Africa as well, same company. Amazing deals they have for you. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's gonna be swift, it's gonna be super, it's gonna be a learning curve. We're here to educate and inform and empower and make sure that in the end you are transformed. I am super excited, hey, to connect with this brother, this good friend, and also he's an investor. He is a property guru, I call him, and this guy knows what he's doing and what he's about. I'm saying this guy because he's going to introduce himself to you and I. And please do us the biggest favor for tonight, and as you do always, keep on sharing. We are live on Twitter. It's Starr Radio UK, and also we are live on our Facebook page. It's Starr Radio UK Facebook page, Starr Radio UK fan page, and KB Bossman Facebook page as well. We're live on YouTube, YouTube channel. We're live on Periscope, on TuneIn Radio. We are live www.starradiouk.com, and also on our amazing app that is interactive. Download on your Android or Apple Store and listen on the go. The podcast should be ready as well. You can listen again and again and make notes, and I believe that your life will never be the same. Getting started in property, hey, make it a conscious effort to share the link with somebody. So are we all set? I am super set and excited to connect with the one and only. He's a superman, and you understand why I'm saying he's a superman. That's Muzzie. You're welcome to the Property Hour Show.
A superman. I like that.
I'll explain later on.
Thank you very much, man. I've wanted to be on the show for a while, man.
Wow.
Like seriously, I was talking to my wife earlier on, and I was laughing about the fact that when I was invited, my first thought was, "What took you so long? Like, what took you so long to invite her?"
Oh my, bless
I
her.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
I'm Muzzie. I've shortened the name actually. The full name is Muzzie Nduna. And
Okay.
I shortened it just so it's easier for a lot of people to say. But you understand the concept of very long names, right? I
Exactly.
didn't get to choose it. It's one of them. It's one of them. But yeah, so excited to be here. I am based in the UK. As you
Right.
may already know, I invest in property in so many different creative strategies. And I am originally from Zimbabwe. And I
Oh,
can see it says at the bottom there, the Zim Property Investors. Yeah, I'm
yes.
one of the founders of the Zim Property Investors, where we've got a lot of Zimbabwean people that are interested in property. And that's pretty much what we do.
Wow. 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 Super. Super. We'll get into that side of the Zim property investors. We'll get to that side. But on this show, we want to encourage and also empower our viewers and make sure that somebody is getting something out of the show. Not just to show off, but basically to educate, inform, empower. And in the end, the goal is to get people transformed. And so that is key to us. Now, why property? Because your background is not in it's not anywhere close to properties. You're an engineer, aren't you?
Correct.
So why property?
Um, it's a very strange one in terms of deciding how to actually get started in property. For me, property or being involved in buying or selling houses was such a long distant goal. You know, it's one of those things where you looked at and thought, when I really make it in life, I'll probably buy one or two houses.
Yeah.
You know, so it was always that thing in the, you know, unwritten blueprint that you grow up, go to school, or start with nursery, go to school, go to college, get to work, get married, and then eventually at some point you buy a house. It was kind of like the holy grail, the highest thing that you want to do. So in the back of my mind is always something that I wanted to do. So in the meantime, what I started doing was engineering, as you've mentioned. I started as an apprentice in manufacturing engineering and kind of worked my way up the corporate ladder in engineering. And then I got introduced to property about 3 years ago, of which I then found out you can actually get started in property a lot sooner than what you thought. I thought I was probably going to be able to buy my house later on in life and start purchasing properties for rental like later on in life. So property has always been something I wanted to do. I just didn't realize I could get started at the time that I actually started now. So yeah, that's why I chose to do property, essentially, to be fair.
Wow. And in the last 3 years you started, and so you got introduced to properties, and you've started the journey in the last 3 years. What are some of the learning curves that we want to know? The challenging part first, because normally people are like, hey, the guy is making it big, you know, look, hey, he's changed his car, look, he's moved out of the area. And you hear all these stories and people are like, you know what, I would like to get on board. So tell us about the challenges in the last 3 years, then we get to the success side of things.
I love that question. It's a great question. And it points out that this is not an easy sailing kind of like easy journey where you just, you know, get started and start getting paid straight away.
Yeah.
So speaking from my experience, the first challenge is managing expectations.
Right.
So for people to be able to get you involved in anything, you have to highlight the good part as much as possible so you can invite them in, right?
Yes.
And then once you get in, they get introduced to the bad sides, but then at this point, sometimes it's far too late. So one of my challenges, as mentioned, is managing expectations. So at the point that I started at a training company, property training company.
Okay.
And we got introduced to all these various amount of strategies and how you can start making money in property instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the case. It's not necessarily the case. So that was challenge number one, putting money into sort of like certain levels of training, expecting that the money will come pretty much straight away, and it didn't. The other challenges I would say is like mistakes that you then make,
Yeah.
where you consider that once you've got a certain amount of information,
Mm-hmm.
you're good to go on your own. Okay, so I quickly learned the difference between content and context. So once you have the content, you
Mm-hmm.
now have the knowledge, okay, and you think you can just go away and start doing certain things.
Yes.
But then without the appropriate support, the masterminds, the mentors, the people that know what they're doing, that can hold your hand, once you reach certain challenges where you're thinking, okay, what do I do now? And you've got no one else to ask because the content that you collected
Yeah.
didn't have context to it, because you can't actually put it into practical action without fully understanding the whole picture. So I started doing things on my own, wrote notes, and thought I'll just go and start doing it. And I made loads of mistakes. So a lot of money was lost in the journey in terms of being able to get started. So that was another big challenge right there. And then I would say the other challenge that I had personally was hoping that I can take everyone with me, if that makes sense. So you get into.
Okay, go on. You're explaining, so please go on.
I'll say you get introduced to this great idea. You fully understand how good it is.
Yeah.
And you want everyone with you to go with you, right? You want everyone to be interested in this new idea as possible, and you take them with you.
Exactly.
My challenge at that point was understanding that not everyone is going to be as excited about your new project as you are. And therefore you get split decisions, you slow down, you get frustrated because at the time it feels like no one else understands it, no one else gets it. So you end up losing friends or falling out with people because you're trying to convince them something that seems really clear to you at the time, but to them it's not at that particular time. So that's another challenge where you probably lose a lot of friends.
I like a couple of points that you've made. You mentioned about mentorship, and after you get into that, you also then go away thinking that, hey, I'm on my feet, I'm ready to run, whilst you have to walk because you've been crawling. And the fact that as to context and you said content and what? Contest.
Yeah, content and context.
And the content, when people go to event and they get the content, they are ready to experiment. So that is the most challenging part, that people get it wrong. Now people are fascinated when they hear for the first time, okay, I went to listen to Muzzie, and you know what, the guy sounds good. I think what he talked about made some notes, so I can start. And you've been honest as to losing money. People don't look at that side of things, and there are others too. They lose money and they are ready to quit. You understand? And these are some of the points that you've really nailed. You've nailed them, because it's something that some people hardly talk about. One of the honest people that I've had on the program, almost all my guests are honest, but one of the honest, transparent guys is Jack Dura. And Jack, I know you're connected to Jack as well. You're a franchise holder as well. And so Jack, the reason why I called you Superman is that Jack is the Superman. So as you're connected to him and the franchisee, you're a Superman as well.
It makes me a Superman as well.
Exactly. So what I'm happy about tonight is that you've laid the facts on the table, that people got to be real about it, because people get too excited. Yeah. So let me shift a little bit and let's talk about. I know we're going to talk about the successes, but in the last 3 years, apart from losing money and trying to go on your own and all the bits that you've talked about, what is the one single thing that taught you a lesson that you said to yourself that, you know what, I still have to be connected with my mentor?
So it's kind of all connected. Essentially, my biggest lesson is on your own, you may actually get to a certain point. Yeah. However, it's not a wise move to do it on your own. Okay. So you're going to need a lot of, now this is in different parts. You could talk about the entire property journey itself, about knowing what it is that you need to be doing to make sure that you're as efficient as possible. And I could be talking about a simple example like setting up a property. Yeah, setting up one property. Let's say it's a rent to service accommodation. And my first one, the big mistake I made there was trying to do it all on my own. I.e., don't get a painter, I'll do it myself. Don't get a handyman, I'll assemble the stuff myself. I will set the whole property up myself because I'm trying to save pennies, right? Now, that setup took me over 6 weeks to do because I'm still in full-time employment.
Okay.
Now, at the time, I actually saw that as a success because I've saved myself and I had quantified it to about £1,200 of what I would have paid someone to do. At that point, I thought, yeah, I've done great. I've saved all that money. I did it myself.
Right.
But then what I didn't consider is the fact that because it took 6 weeks, it's the opportunity cost. If I had actually done it over a weekend and paid people $1,200, I could have been making money in those rest of the 5 weeks, essentially, and generated more than what that $1,200 would have been. So it's the element of trying to do things on your own, collecting content and going away and trying to do things on your own. That's the biggest error or lesson that I actually picked up, because if it's something that you've never done before, i.e. getting into the property business, you've never done it before, and I'm speaking to myself here, I'd never done it before. So in terms of how far you can get or how high you can think and how broad the ideas are in terms of being creative, you're limited because you're limited to an experience where you've never done it before. So you may think, okay, this is the right thing to do. I know I can go this far. But then if you're not connected to people that have done it before, you have no way of actually understanding or having a good idea of what's actually possible out there. So it's the opportunities that I missed at the start where I thought, okay, this is the strategy I want to do. I'm going to go and do it this way. So that would be my biggest lesson. Don't do it on your own. Yeah. Actually look to collaborate with people that have done it before and leave certain things to their own specialists. Don't hold back on paying money for some good advice.
I like that, and thank you for that. And so one last question before we move to the second part of the question. In terms of success, how long did it take you, the 3 years you've been in, how long did it take you for you to start seeing the signs of success coming in, as in you making inroads into your goals, your set goals?
That's a good question, and I would split that into two parts. Now, firstly, what does success actually mean? Right? To me, success is in the journey. It's not necessarily a destination. It's in the journey. So certain progress that I see, I celebrate. It's success. And in terms of visible success to the rest of the world, I guess, would be as simple as at the point that you started learning about this whole property thing, when did you first get your property? And the answer to that is it was 9 months. From the point I actually started looking for these properties or understood the concept, it took me 9 months to get the first property. And then in terms
nine
of
months to get the first property. Okay.
9 months to get the first property. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was with actually some effort into it, where I actually was going out looking for deals quite constantly. And there's a few things that I did wrong and learned from, but it took 9 months to get the first property. And in terms of at the point that I actually started seeing some returns in terms of funds that were put in, to start seeing a profit coming back in, I was probably over a year and a half, at least over a year and a half. So of that 3 years, about a year and a half of it was kind of like still working at it with no physical results that you're seeing in terms of finance.
So it's not a quick fix, isn't it?
Oh no, nowhere near, nowhere near. So if there's anyone listening in now hoping for a quick get rich quick in terms of property, you're on the wrong channel.
I like that. Super. Thank you for that, Muzzie. And let me also say that if you've just joined us, you're live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK. This is every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m., where we talk about everything property. So many angles when you come into the industry, and if you're looking to start your journey, my guest has been through it, and he's still rising and soaring. And so he's made it. He's told you he started off as to how he got into it. He was in full-time employment, and you know what? He worked his way into it. He's done it. It's doable. You can do it. You've got to believe in yourself that it's possible. There's so many angles that you can get using getting in. So let's get into the he's just given us a gist of as to how long it took him to get success, and it's not a destination as he mentioned. So let's get to this part. Muzzie, you realize that when it comes to, I asked almost this question to people of color, especially because in our community, majority of the time I believe that we sit on gold and we still go begging. And it happens that a family might have one property and they are cool with it. As you started off, as you had dreams of just getting a property, and in the end maybe that would be something you're going to use as a as your pension fund or something like that. But in our community, people struggle after they've got one property to get around getting a portfolio. And this has been something that is one of the things even inspired me to start this whole show. And it is something we want to try as much and educate our community about it. The opportunities that lies in having one property and getting into two and climbing the ladder. So what is your view on this, and what advice do you have?
Such a great question, and I'm smiling because this is part of the conversation we were having earlier on this morning with my mastermind.
Okay.
Especially for us in terms of our culture and our background. And the main thing to understand is for those that we've pictured as the wealthy, the people that are rich, who utilize the concept of property to make their wealth, they depend on leveraging funds. And we call it leveraging instead of debt. And because the concept of debt itself is so, I'm not entirely sure how to particularly put it, but then it's got a very negative connotation to it. Now, it's difficult for many people, especially in our backgrounds, to understand that there is good debt and bad debt. It's just all labeled as debt. And people actually have this element of fear of having debt, essentially. Now, whenever something like that were to happen, this is usually the case where someone will get one property on a mortgage,
Yeah.
and their sole purpose is to pay off that mortgage for that one property. And that's it. You know, the concept of I own this house outright, I've got no mortgage on it, that is a level of success. Now, understanding that that property itself, as long as you're living in it, is essentially liability because it's not bringing any money in. And you've got all this money. You can talk about how this property is worth 300 grand, it's worth 500,000, but it's just 500,000 sat in a building. You're not doing anything with it. But then if you talk about pulling those funds out to start investing in other properties, to them it kind of sounds like, well, you're asking me to borrow more money, you're asking me to get another mortgage, so that's another debt that I have to pay off. But if you're going to borrow £1 and then that £1 is going to pay you £3, what's wrong with that? That is great debt. So if you can borrow £1 and it brings you £3, then you can borrow 1 million to give you 3 million. And this is how essentially the wealthy actually live. They actually leverage on the funds that are available around in terms of actually putting properties in, pulling equity out, and actually leveraging the mortgages to actually make money for themselves. This is how you create a portfolio. But if you still have in your mind that debt, whether good or bad, is a terrible idea, you're only going to be able to do the one. That's if you actually manage to get to that point anyway. So I think it's a discussion that really needs to be open and have people sort of like open this discussion, educate people on the concept of good and bad debt and how you can actually leverage on portfolios to actually make a lot of money out of this whole concept.
I like that. And the mentioning of good debt, because majority of our people are so scared of debt. When you talk to them about mortgage, they're like, you know what, I don't want to get into anything like that. It's you use the right words, and thank you for that great answer, because we need to have I believe an open, honest conversation about this, because it will change mindset. It will make people go back and reflect and make the right decisions after consulting the experts and specialists in this field, which is very, very, very key. Now, I want us to dive into a little bit about Zim. What you're doing with a Zim investor, Zimbabwean property invest. Is it Zimbabwean property investors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's the Zim property investors.
Zim. Okay, so I got it right then. So Zim property investors. What do you guys do? And you live in the UK. Why are you concerned about? Is it the name? Is it just the name, or you're looking to do something in Zim?
So great question as well with that. And you know,
can you hear me?
The whole concept behind the Zim property investors
my.
is finding people that have the same mindset and also happen to have the same background. You know that thing where you go on holiday in a foreign country, and as soon as you find someone who's from the same country as you become friends automatically, even though you have no idea who that person is. So the Zim property investors, the way this actually started, I'll be honest, it was down to the fact that we had recently found out about property, all of these new strategies that you can implement where you don't have to wait for saving up and raising a deposit. You can get involved in property straight away. You know, the rent to rents, the lease options, the deal packaging, and all these different strategies where you can make money without actually having to buy the property. And we got really excited about this. But then it's something that as we spoke about with different people in different communities and different networking events, we realized that there's an element of a challenge that we feel that other people might not understand. debt is one concept, right? So we wanted to find people who are from our background and still doing property, who have the same challenges, and try to learn from them on how they overcame those challenges, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So we started collecting and kind of reaching out to anyone, ideally who was Zimbabwean, who was doing something similar. And then we very slowly started building a community. The idea was to just share ideas. That was the initial plan for it. Just share ideas and have a conversation with these people. And then the community just grew so quickly, where we have so many people, majority of them being from Zimbabwe, who are sharing a vast amount of knowledge, helping each other in terms of building their portfolios in the UK and back in Zimbabwe, right? And we're having this conversation about utilizing property as a vehicle to make our lives better. Now, make our lives better means different things to different people, right?
Yeah.
So for people here, they might be thinking, make my life better by no longer going to my job, or being able to fully focus on my job without having to worry about a wage, or being able to create something back in Zimbabwe so I can move back and live there, or being able to actually play a big part in transforming my home country by investing back in Zimbabwe. Make my life better means different things to different people, but we're all together utilizing property itself as a vehicle towards whatever that goal is. So that's essentially what the Zim Property Investors is. Now, majority of us are Zimbabwean, but it's not strictly restricted to just Zimbabweans. We've got different people from different nationalities around, and they're all part of the same journey, and we're all speaking the same language. It's a fantastic environment to be in, to be honest with you.
Wow. So I can come join and
of course
and learn from you.
Of course you can come and join, and you're welcome, man.
Thank you for that. Okay, awesome. Now, in terms of your property journey, let me quickly read some few comments from our viewers across the world, and it's amazing. I'm loving this. I'll take some few ones on YouTube, on the Starr Radio UK YouTube channel. We've got Matthew McCarney. I hope McCarney. I hope I've got it right, Matthew. He says, good point. Can't always take everyone with you. So the point you made about you realized that you couldn't take everyone with you. And Vasil, is it Vilzel? Please forgive me. All right. Please forgive me for if I did not get it right. But
these are Zimbabwean names for you, KB. These are Zimbabwean names.
Okay. Okay. So I'll be forgiven. It says, keep the good work up and God would richly bless you guys. Thank you for that. Vil. Let me say Vil. And also Adezi Chiwoko, and she says, hey, Muzzie sounding great. And let me quickly also go to Facebook and get a few comments from Facebook. And you have a good fan base though. Mary Watoni says, come we do together, I'm interested. Okay. Or is it can we do together, I'm interested? Okay. Mary. And also Charlene. Oh, I believe this misses.
This is the wife.
Yes.
Make sure you say the right stuff here, because I'll be in trouble.
Oh no, you'll not be. Don't worry. So 1 second. So the missus says, yes, the difference between content and contest. Love that. Thank you. That's a real your number one fan, you know.
That's the boss.
Yes, that's the boss. But I'm the boss man though.
That's the boss man.
And so Salo Chifaja says, welcome, one of our own. Muzzie. Okay, and I've got Kwejo Asante. That's Mr. George Asante, all the way from Wellingborough, the Republic of Wellingborough. The chief, he's the mayor of Wellingborough, and he says you are an inspiration. So that is awesome. That's good point. And quickly, let's get back to the interview. And I wanted to find out, in terms of your journey, with property. I tell some of the traditional estate agents about the new world of property, and they are confused. So in the new world of property, there are strategies that are being used. What are some of the strategies that you've been using all this while in the last 3 years, if you want to share with us?
Yeah, sure. So I'll kind of go back and speak to Muzzie back 3 years ago.
Okay.
So if there's anyone out there who is still under the impression that the only way to invest in property, besides buying a house that you're living in, the only way to invest is to raise a deposit, i.e. save up an X amount of money coming from your wage to purchase a property. For example, £100,000 property where you have to purchase it, raise a 25% deposit, perhaps pay stamp duty, pay the legals, and you probably have to raise about £30,000 to buy a house that's worth 100,000. And if you think that's the only way you get involved in property, yeah, I'm here to tell you that there's fantastic news, people. There's so many different ways that you can get involved in property, and this is how I found out about it. Now, rent to rent is my main business.
Okay.
Right? Rent to rent is my very main business, and for those that don't know what that is, this is the concept of controlling someone else's property and generating cash flow from it. Essentially, you're not buying it, you're going to rent it off the landlord, offer to pay the rent, whatever the rent is, whether it's market rent or you can negotiate something lower, and then you rent it on to someone else in a different strategy. I.e., if you're renting a 5-bedroom house, you could then rent out each room separately, and that strategy is called an HMO, which is houses and multiple occupancy. Or you can rent it out on a nightly basis and treat it as a hotel, which is well known as a serviced accommodation. Now, the whole concept is how much money you have to pay the landlord and the bills has to be less than what's coming in from the other strategy, right? So if you're going to be making 2,500 and then you pay out 1,500, let's say £500 for the bills and £1,000 for rent, you've got a difference of £1,000 there. That's then your cash flow, that's then your profit, which you are generating from a house that you haven't bought. So rent to rent is our main strategy, and it's a cash flow strategy. It's one way you can get in without having too much money to actually spend up front. So that's one of our main strategies. Serviced accommodation. At this point, we're buying houses as well. So we're not just doing it as rentals, we're buying houses as well and actually doing them for serviced accommodation. We've got HMOs as well. And then the other strategy is a lease option, which I absolutely love. A lease option agreement, which is a concept of buying a house and then taking your time to be able to pay for it.
Yeah.
You agree a price in the future, however long that future is, and then you actually take control of the property as if you fully bought it, and then you then buy it on action the option to purchase that property later on in the future. So that means you can purchase the property without having to raise the funds up front. Again, similar to a rent-to-rent, the difference is you actually buy the house at the end of the term. So these are the different strategies that we do, and this is coupled as well with another one, which is deal packaging, or well known as deal sourcing, where you find the property, know that you've got someone who's looking for that type of property. Usually people don't have the time to go around to viewings, to go around to agents, to go find deals, or to even analyze a deal. You have the time, you have the knowledge to do that. You can find those deals, analyze them, make sure it's a good deal, and then sell it on to someone. Someone else will then buy that property and then pay you for the work that you've done. So you can generate cash flow from the time that you've spent and the knowledge that you know and the experience that you're putting into that. So we are actually using all those different strategies and putting them together to then raise funds that we would like to then start purchasing properties as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds incredible. And one of the key things you mentioned is service accommodation, which maybe if there are newbies watching us might not understand what service accommodation is. And if you can give us a little bit about it, then there's a follow-up question I'm going to ask.
Yeah, so service accommodation, for those that might not know it, you might know it better as Airbnb. I'm not a big fan of using that term, which is why I always stick to service accommodation.
Exactly.
So essentially, it's the element of utilizing a property as a house, the whole of it, and treating it the way that you would treat a hotel. So rather than rent it out on a monthly basis where someone is paying rent monthly, you set up the property to a very high standard and actually charge a nightly rate. So someone will come and actually book a night, will book 3 nights, will book 7 nights, and in that period they're paying a nightly rate as if you would a hotel. So that's the strategy that we use mainly. And for service accommodation, it depends on the types of people that you're actually bringing in. So we usually have either the leisure guests or people that come into the property or in that house because specifically for the location, the city break, the beaches, and you're coming on holiday with your family. Or the contractor, people who are coming specifically in that location to work because they've got projects in that location and they come for a period of time and then they go back home later on. So that's what service accommodation is in a nutshell.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for that. And my follow-up question is, it sounds so simple, and I know that is one of your key strengths, as in where you are fully engaged in. How is it not too risky? Because if you don't have guests, that means how do you pay for the rent? Because you've already signed up.
Absolutely, and I love that. So is it not risky? And I don't think there's many things in life that have zero amount of risk. Everything has a level of risk. Now it depends on each person's risk appetite. How far up is your risk appetite? How low down is it? So yes, there is an element of risk, and even if you were to buy a house and put one tenant in there who will sign a 2-year agreement, there's a risk that in 2 weeks they might decide they don't want to stay there anymore and they'll just leave. Still have a similar concept. Now, yes, there is risk of not having any occupancy, people not booking your house. There is a risk that people will come into the property and maybe cause damages. Yes, there is. However, there are certain things that you can do to mitigate it. There are certain things that you can do to reduce the chances, not eradicate them, because you're always going to have an element of it. There's things that you can do to reduce the chances. So with the question that you're asking about no one coming to the property, all of that element is something that I would recommend you do at the start before even taking on the house, right? So try to imagine if you were to take on this house in this location, who are you attracting? Is there demand there? All of these are things that you can find out before the point that you take it on. And then by the time you take it on, you already know there's demand. So all you need to do or focus on is the marketing, right? Whoever it is that you want to come into that property, who are they? Where can you find them? How can you make yourself known? By going out to do some marketing, and that will reduce the chances of having zero occupancy essentially, so you can generate some income.
Fantastic. And if you've just joined us, hey, you've missed out on a lot of the discussion, but the good news is that you can listen to the podcast possibly about 10 minutes after the program. You can log on to www.starradiouk.com and you search for the Property Hour and you'll see today's show and you can download, or you can do a replay on YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, also on Facebook, couple of pages, Star Radio UK fan page, KB Bossman's Facebook page as well, and then Star Radio UK Facebook official page as well. So super duper, you have loads of angles to listen to. And we're just about to wrap up, so we're going to get into some few stuff and we'll wrap up. But let me say that thank you for sticking and staying with us. Keep sharing the link, like, share, and also comment as well. And you can follow us on all the social media platforms, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. Please do us that favor. Now, Muzzie, I believe you talked about masterclass. Are you offering mentorship? Are you also giving back as to how you have received? Because the best form of having a good life is better to give than to receive, isn't it? And so that is very key. And you are you offering mentorship?
So we do have actually mentorship programs. We do also have masterminds.
Okay.
And like I said, where I found the most amount of value, right, is when I got the assistance from people that have done it before. So there is an element of knowing what works because of what I went through. Therefore, helping people in the best way by offering what I received at the time that I was actually sort of coming through my journey. So we do have masterminds. Yes, we do have mentorship programs where we actually help a lot of people. And by the way, as mentioned earlier on, it's not just restricted to Zimbabweans. So if you are interested in property wherever you're from, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to have conversations and see if there's any way that we can help.
Wonderful. And in terms of this year, I mean, somebody would say the new year is over. I believe that it's still new. The year, we just 1 month, 4 weeks is gone, 5 weeks is gone. But hey, we're still in the new year. So, do you have any major plans, mega projects coming up, or in terms of educating and getting people educated and passing on knowledge? Do you have anything like that coming up?
So in terms of the education element, I'll be honest with you, it's not the main part.
Okay.
It just so happened because with what we are working on right now, people want to know what it is and how we do it. So we ended up creating masterminds and a mentorship program as well to help people to get to where we are. But the major projects that we're working on at the moment are more towards the business itself, right? So there's elements, the amount of properties we're looking to take on, the amount of properties we're looking to buy, and new bigger projects that we're delving into right now. So like today, we pretty much spent the whole day working on the new projects and the goals and the plans that we're looking to do for this year, and at some point next year as well. So we're looking to take on some really big projects, and from what we're looking to do, I'm going to be a busy boy for a while, to be honest with you. So I'm really excited about the things that we're about to take on.
It's good to be busy because idle hands get some very funny things to do when you're not busy, you know. So it's good to focus.
That is very true. That is very true.
And be very, very busy. I will come to you in a second. Let me read just two more messages on YouTube. It says from Selena Mazunga.
It's
Majunga. Okay. Well, you know, I'm learning. You say, hey, Muzzie, well done, mate. Okay, Selena, thank you for that. And you know, the name that I was struggling to mention, that is
they've commented again.
My classmate, and he's in New York, and Kwame Bannerman, thank you, bro. And he says, "It's me, your mate, Kwame Bannerman." Anyway, I don't want to get you emotional about that, but bro, thank you for tuning in. And he says that he's watching live from New York. Thank you. And he says this program needs to be listened by everyone, no matter your economic class or level. So educative. So thank you, Kwame. Kwame Bannerman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to connect. And also, okay, this is Gwengudu 42. Okay, he or she says, well done. Okay. Way to Africa. I know the person. That's my boss, my director is watching us for the first time. Oh my. But that's what the one and only Way to Africa director. Aunt Martha. She says, ha ha ha, I like your comment on Idol. Idol hands. Okay, and Apostle Michael Obi, all the way from Texas, says, well done, Bossman. Thank you, bro, for tuning in. Thank you, guys. It's been a wonderful time. We'll keep this year is going to be super. We want to challenge you. The goal of this program is to challenge you and push you into your dreams. Or, I mean, you can do it. Muzzie has done it. He's doing it, and he's going to get bigger and better. There's no limit. It's just down to the mindset. If your mind can capture it, you can achieve it. The only thing you don't have to lose is your focus. If you lose, no matter the distraction, focus. You can get there. There's hope in you. So don't give up for anything, and don't bow in terms of pressure because of what? No. Until you cross the line, you're not done yet. So there's something unique in you, something very special to achieve stuff, and you can do it. So thank you, guys. And also I believe that Reverend Michael Amwa is also watching on Facebook. Thank you, Rev, for tuning in. And Muzzie, I'll come to you in a second. We can possibly wrap up. And I've got Dean Chirekini says on Facebook, says that Muzzie, you have to talk about some of the challenges when you got your first property. Okay, that's a great way to set expectations. Okay, Dean, I believe he started it off, but I believe Muzzie, if you want to answer to that.
I know Dean. He's trying to make fun of me because I've
Thank you, Dean, for bringing this up.
Thanks for bringing it up, Dean. Appreciate it, brother. But he's talking about the fact that when I mentioned it to him, that I did the painting, I did the assembly of the work, I went and bought the stuff myself. I made so many ridiculous errors, and the funny part is, when I thought I saved that £1,200, there's a lot of things that I did wrong. Yeah. So I had to go back and get the professionals to do it anyway. So I paid for it twice. So that's why he's looking to bring it up. Thanks, Dean. I'll remember that.
Okay. Dean, thank you for that heads up. That's a good one. And, we learn from these, and we believe that we'll be able to. Yeah, it's super. So great stuff, Muzzie. And I want you to, how do people connect with you? And in terms of also the Zim property investors, how can people connect with yourself, with the network?
Yeah, great. Thanks a lot for that. So the best way to actually get in touch with us is to join our community on Facebook. Okay. Right? It's called the Zim Property Investors. Feel free to just join that community, and in there you will find a lot of videos of the stuff that we talk about. We also hold every Sunday at 4:30 UK time for half an hour. We do a question and answer session where people can join in on that live and ask questions, and we discuss stuff. And if you want to get any closer, like joining our WhatsApp groups or anything like that, just come through the Facebook group, reach out to us, and we'll bring you into the closer groups and discuss stuff. And for myself, Muzzie Nduna, which you can see at the bottom, Muzzie, and the surname is Nduna. Feel free to reach out to me on the Facebook page. You'll find me on LinkedIn. You'll find me on Instagram using that name. Feel free to reach out, connect, ask questions, and let's see where this can go. It'd be lovely to have a chat with you guys.
Powerful. That's great. That's great. And before you go, any strong, kind words or encouragement to our viewers, our listeners? People might be on the urge. Some people might still be confused in the new year. People are waiting to make some decisions. People are all over the place. The economic challenges. So, what do you have to tell them? And also, if you want to wish some loved ones a good year, you're more than welcome.
Yeah. No, that's great. Appreciate that. So, now, this is sort of towards anyone who's looking to get started, or anyone who's thinking about this, or anyone who's actually thought, this is what I want to do at some point. So at what point do I start? What do I need to think about? And I just want to point out three things.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing to consider is why. So start with why. And that's a really good book, actually. I recommend anyone who's never read it. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Now, what I say about that is ask yourself why you're looking to do it in the start. Like, why are you looking to get started in property? Why are you looking to move into this industry? And try by all means not to make the answer money. Don't start this business for money. Don't start property for money. Think about what the money is for. So focus more about, if you had the money, what would it give you? Is it a lifestyle? Is it to help someone? Is it to allow you to do something in particular? Whatever is beyond that money itself, focus on that and really hold on to it. Now, the reason I say that is because you're going to face some really difficult challenges, and it can be very difficult. It can be a lonely place, especially like I was mentioning earlier on. Your immediate circle might not understand it, so you might end up going on your own, and that's the first challenge. Being isolated is not a nice feeling. Now, once you feel that and you feel those challenges, the first thing you're going to do is say, why on earth did I put myself through this? Now, if you don't understand why to start with, at that point, you're going to do a U-turn. That's going to be the point of failure. Okay, so step one, understand why you're doing it. Two, get yourself educated. Once you've had an idea of what it is that you want to do, get yourself educated. Find out a lot about this information. Don't hold back in investing in mentorship. Don't hold back in investing in mastermind. Stick around with people that have done this before and really follow their advice. But be a student, not a follower. Be a student. And I say that because people will say a lot of stuff. It may be right, it may be wrong, but you soak it in, but make sure the action you take is based on your own conclusion, right? So don't just follow just because someone has done it and you hope that it's going to work for you. Be a student, not a follower. And then the last thing, which is one of the most important, is once you've got the information, don't hold it and stay there. Take action, which is a big thing. Take action. And a lot of people will tell you that knowledge is power. It's only potential power. There's no point in knowing stuff if you're not doing anything with it.
I like that.
Yeah? So you take action. That's point number 3. And that's the information I wanted to share here.
Powerful. And you didn't wish anybody
Hey, I'm only gonna wish my wife
and thank people.
My wife a lovely day. Yeah, everyone else all the best. My wife a lovely day.
Oh my! I love that, and that's a super good one, And thank you so much, Charlene. Thank you for looking after the brother, and he's looking and smiling, because when you see a man that is full of smile, you know that he's being looked after well.
He's
and
well taken care of.
well
Right?
taken care of, and there's peace, and so that's very key. Thank you so much, Charlene and Muzzie. It's been a great pleasure having you on the show. I believe that somewhere media will come back to you and check progress and see how things are going, and we'll have you back on. We love to educate, we love to empower and motivate and encourage our listeners and viewers across the globe. And so thank you so much. It's been a great time. I've loved every moment of it. And let me say a big thank you to you once again, and the family as well. We highly appreciate, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll connect pretty soon. Thank you. All right, and so you had it all for yourself. It's been a good learning curve. So many things, He mentioned one thing that I'll leave with you before I wrap up. He said that when you get the information, people say knowledge is power, but the application is that brings the results. So if you can hold on to it and be excited dancing around it, and it becomes like getting a prescription and putting it on the shelves, you'll never get any benefit, you'll never be able to get any results. But hey, action takers, this show is for you. And so thank you so much for tuning in. But join me this Sunday, 5 p.m. You don't want to miss it. My guest is going to be Dr. Albert Kwabena Mensah. He is coming out with a book, I Speak of a Better Society. You will be blown away. You will be blessed on Faith Talk this Sunday, 5 p.m. UK time. You don't want to miss it. We are here to empower and educate. I speak of a better society. You will know what it is. This man, I don't want to talk much about before we get into it. He's been studying and doing research for many years in the nation of Germany, and he's wrapped up his studies and research, and he is going to talk to us about a better society. What is it all about? And so join us, and the flyers are going to be out possibly by tomorrow, and you will be taking another step and looking into your society and how you can make the society a better place for us all. And so join us. But hey, tonight, thank you so much. The podcast is going to be ready pretty soon, possibly about 10-15 minutes after the program to be uploaded, and here you can download and listen on the go, or you can do a playback and watch again and again. Nuggets of truth, so many inspiring points that Muzzie gave for free. Some of this content people charge for. People have paid 20 grand to be mentored, and these are some of the things you get taught, and you getting it for free on the Property Hour Show. What? Come on. And so let me say thank you for joining us, and also my co-host is not in tonight. As I said, she's been granted leave because of some very important activities that she is engaging in. That's Mrs. Vicky Newton, and Vicky, we know that you're doing well, and things are getting in shape. So hey, we miss you on the show, but you are not too far. It will not be too long for you to come back. So great stuff, and thank you to our sponsors as well. CIG Properties, www.cigpropertyuk.com. If you're looking to invest in Africa or in the UK in terms of property, look no further. We will be able to help you, step after step along the way to get you to your destination. And so they also offer specialist mortgage services, where complicated mortgage services, if you are giving up, even if the courts have come in, they will still be able to help you out. And let me say a big thank you to M&M Concept graphic designers. They deliver to your doorstep no matter where you are on the planet. These guys are based in Ghana, but you know what? I love their customer service. They deliver. They've got some turnaround times, an hour they can deliver. And you know what? It doesn't matter where you are, and if it's got to do with t-shirts or merchandise, whatever it is, printing, you see our beautiful flyers, they do create it for us, and so we're excited to partner with them. Amazing company. And so you can come through us and we'll be able to connect you to them, and you can enjoy a 15% discount on your service. They offer to use 0208 133 2258. That's 0208 133 2258, and we'll be able to connect you. And also may I associate, if you're in Ghana or you're based in the diaspora and you're looking to undertake a project, whether commercial or private, in Ghana, these guys, may I associate, will be able to take that project on for you. Professionals, you know, you might have burned your fingers with friends and family. They have, I mean, you've spent the thousands, and now you've got no place to lay your head, or your project is still stagnant. Hey, these guys will be able to take it on from conception to completion. They will do the job for you. So connect on 0208 133 2258, and we'll be able to get you connected to Mayor Associate. Last but not the least is Kerry's Furniture. I'm so excited. Kerry's Furniture is based in Atlanta, Georgia. The good news is that these guys are able to deliver. These guys are able to deliver wherever you are. From Caracas to Achimbegro, they will deliver to your doorstep. You don't need to do anything. They will ship it to your doorstep. So therefore, look out for Kerry's Furniture on Instagram and on Facebook. It's Kerry's, that's Kharis Furniture, and they will be able, if you mention Starr Radio UK, your discount of 15% is agreed, and they will deliver no matter, you just order, choose what you want, they will deliver, whether in Zimbabwe, whether you are in DRC Congo, whether you are in Uganda, whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in Russia and Lithuania, they will deliver to your doorstep. So look out for Kerry's Furniture, and these guys will deliver to your doorstep. And so we thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. It's been a good time. I've loved every moment.